Welcome to our last episode. Over the past few weeks, we have discovered what it means to be an ally with our guests. But today, our team members will explain what true allyship means to them. What does true allyship mean to me? Well, I believe that you can break this down into three main parts. Namely, first and foremost, educating yourself. Read, listen, watch, and deepen your understanding first. There are a ton of helpful resources out there to learn about the injustices people of color are facing. After having done that, own your privileges. Understand that you have advantages, resources, or opportunities that are related to you being white. This realization can be very painful, but instead of letting guilt overwhelm you, think about how you can use this privilege to make a change and educate others in your community. And lastly, a good ally amplifies voices from marginalized groups. Listen to people, accept feedback, and when you see something, say something. I know that's difficult and you might be afraid of making mistakes. Spoiler alert, you will, and that's okay. But understand that it's crucial to become active. It's a lifelong process.
Well, that's a good question. I would say being an ally to me means to act. Well, the most important part is to act in whatever form and way possible for you. Whether if it's pointing out racist behavior, educating others and yourself, let's not forget about that part, or whether if it's doing activist work, marching in strikes, or simply reporting racist behavior. If we want a better future without racism, then we all have to contribute and to act to make it possible. Even if it's just a small contribution every day, it can and it will make a difference.
What does true allyship mean to me? I think first and foremost it is important to educate yourself. There are so many resources on the internet that you can use. You have to explore those and try to broaden your perspective on these topics connected to discrimination and racism. You have to understand that you do have certain privileges that others don't have, that these privileges are by nature unearned, and that you can use them to help those that don't have them. The second part for me is to always stay reflective of your thoughts and behavior so that you can realize when you made a mistake, that you can admit to the mistake and try to avoid it in the future. Finally, don't be passive, be active. That may mean reporting racist comments that you hear on the street or read on the internet. That may mean helping people in need. That may mean marching in demonstrations. Or it may simply mean voting for policymakers and policies that fight against racism and discrimination and support anti-racist work.
What is true allyship? Well, for me, true allyship is getting out of your comfort zone, doing your research, remaining critical, and actively trying to make a change, no matter how small or big it is.
Allyship bedeutet für mich persönlich, verbündet zu sein und sich gegen jede Art von Diskriminierung oder Unterdrückung kritisch zu äußern und Menschen, die diskriminiert oder unterdrückt werden, zu unterstützen. Egal in welcher Form, ob es bei einer Diskussion mit Freunden ist oder eine Meinung im Internet, die man postet oder auch bei der Wortwahl bei gewissen Themen. Bei all diesen alltäglichen Dingen ist es möglich, jemanden zu diskriminieren oder jemanden zu verletzen. Und genau deshalb ist es umso wichtiger, auf diese potenziell verletzenden oder sogar unangebrachten Aussagen oder Tätigkeiten, dass man auf diese genau achtet und sie nochmal überdenkt, bevor man dann wirklich handelt. Das ist für mich allyship.
To answer this question, I'd like to say that I think as an ally, you should always be aware of your own privileges and understand that others do not have those privileges. it's also important to center the ones that are impacted, listen to their voices, and learn from those who live in oppression. It's a constant learning process, and it's important to keep on learning. It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are meant to be made, but again, it's about learning from those mistakes and doing better. And also being aware of the fact that if you've done a challenge or shared a post on Twitter or any social media, that's not enough. As an ally, you need to keep on doing those things. You need to keep on sharing. You need to keep on listening. You need to keep on reflecting on your privileges and what's going on in this world. Yeah, that's how I would answer this question.
For me, being an ally means actively engaging in anti-racism. A good first step here is realizing that as a white person, this is not about me. And something that is personally very important for me is listening to the people who are affected by this discrimination and taking their experiences seriously.
In the episodes of our Breaking Silence project, we have learned a lot about fighting racism and organizations that speak out and advocate for togetherness. All participants in the podcast are allies who fight against discrimination and exclusion of any ethnic origin or skin color. For me, being an ally means living with each other and enjoying life without any prejudice. If everyone would contribute and speak out against racism and discrimination, then together we can manage to break the silence to make sure that as soon as possible we live in a society where it doesn't matter where you come from, what you look like, or which way you go.
Now, thank you to all our listeners for tuning in each week to learn about all these important topics in such turbulent times. With that being said, the mission we've embarked on is yet to be completed, which is why we, all of us, need to continue breaking the silence.